Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Nice to see you again.
You too?
We met a few months ago, I think,
Yeah.
and
Four.
we talked about interviewing you, but we never got around to it.
Right.
It's a pleasure to see you again.
You too?
How have you been lately? How have things been going?
Well, ups and downs,
Okay.
like everybody.
Okay. So last time I interviewed you, I was with Michelle, and she is your partner, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You guys married or no?
No, just boyfriend, girlfriend.
Cool. They loved her interview. It got 8,000 views in a short time, so
That's cool.
they really liked her story, but we never got yours.
Right.
So where are you originally from?
I grew up in St. Petersburg.
St. Pete.
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you finish high school?
Yes.
Okay. Which high school?
Lakewood High.
Lakewood High.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Tell me a little bit about growing up in this area.
It's a lot of fun. Beach, the weather, a lot of girls. So, yeah, I had fun.
What was your favorite thing about growing up in this area?
The beach.
Okay. What's your favorite beach in this area?
St. Pete Beach.
Okay. Have you been there lately?
It's been a few months, but yeah.
The hurricane destroyed it.
Yeah, I haven't been there since.
The water's...
I don't want to see it.
Mm-mm. It's no way to see it right now.
No.
We were up there after the hurricane, and all the dead shells washed up.
Right.
It smelled so bad. My favorite beach is Passagill.
Passagill?
Yeah, that one,
Yeah.
Because you don't have to pay to park.
Right.
Well, you kind of do, but you can kind of get away with not paying in the park.
Yeah.
But all those little cottages had water in them, and they had the water main all the way inside the cottages. So yeah, it's not really a pretty time to see it up there.
No.
In Gulfport, it washed away all the concrete
Oh, really?
from like they built like a little downtown in Gulfport
Yeah, yeah.
by
right
the
on
casino.
water. Yeah.
All that the casino, like all the concrete got washed away. So your journey to being homeless, it started, how long ago?
It's been 2 years.
Okay. So
3 years.
you were you finished high school. Was your childhood normal or difficult?
It was difficult at times,
Okay.
but that doesn't have anything to do with how I became homeless or anything like that.
Okay. So what led to homelessness?
What?
Like
brought
what?
it on?
Yeah, like what brought on what led you to being homeless?
I met a woman here and made the mistake of moving in with her, and it was just a bad situation. So I ended up getting evicted, and she kind of ruined my reputation in this town. So getting a job was messed up, and all of a sudden I didn't have a vehicle. So
Okay. Before, were you ever like economically okay? Like, did you ever think you would end up homeless at some point?
never thought I'd end up homeless.
Okay.
Never.
Okay. What were some of the jobs and occupations you did over the years?
Since 1994, I've been in the communications business. Phone man, basically. Cabling companies and commercial properties.
Gotcha. So, that journey to being out here, what is the most difficult thing about living on the streets?
Not having a place to go home to at the end of the day.
What are some of the difficulties and challenges that you face, like just taking care of your basic needs out here?
Well, food, shelter's a problem, clothing, everything most people take for granted.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What makes you happy on a daily basis to keep going? Like, what's your happiness? What's your
My girlfriend
okay?
and my son that I'm gonna be hopefully reuniting with soon.
Okay.
I sent him away to be with family.
Okay. So you have a son.
Mm-hmm.
How old is he?
20.
20. Okay. That's a great accomplishment in life, right?
I think so, because he's a great kid.
Yeah. What do you consider your greatest accomplishment in life?
That would be my son.
Okay. So that's a huge thing. I don't know. Would you say your relationship with him is good? Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Awesome. Right. So you have a son. That's an incredible accomplishment. A lot of people will never have kids.
That's true. I never thought I'd have one.
Yeah. Out here, you meet nice people and you meet bad people. Tell me some about the nicest people you've met since you've been out here.
Well, there's some that are compassionate and generous and want to help, and there are some that just look down on you and want to spit on you. So,
What is the nicest thing someone's ever done for you personally in the time you've been on the streets? Just something that you look back on, even if it was a small thing, but it was just something you remember as an act of kindness somebody's done.
um, bought me lunch and like threw $10 in with it. You know, they didn't have to do it. They didn't have to do the extra, but it's just that somebody would be that nice. One time, a lady, I was carrying a heavy load, and a lady actually stopped on a busy on a big road, and offered me a ride. She's like, "Do you need help with that?" I'm like, "Are you serious?" Because it was a really nice car, and it was summertime, and she gave me a ride, and I was glad to do it, and I couldn't believe that, you know?
So there are people that are still compassionate and helpful for the homeless.
Absolutely.
Okay. But you also run into people that do things that are horrible. What are some of those things that you've experienced out here that just are kind of a kick when you're already down type feeling?
Like when you go into a store and they know of you, or they've seen you around, so they know you're homeless, and you say, "Can I just use your bathroom?" No. Just a basic human thing, you know. But some people can just be real assholes.
I get that too all the time. I hate when a business doesn't have a bathroom. I think it should be a law.
It
Like
should.
if you have a Publix, a Walmart, a gas station,
Right.
if you're running that type of establishment, that you should have functioning bathrooms. I hate when I go to a business. The other day I was in Sarasota, and I filled up my truck. It was like $60 to fill up the gas tank, right?
Right.
And then I walk in there, and the guy's like, "Oh, the bathroom's closed." I'm like, "Bro, I just spent $60 filling up the gas
Yeah,
tank."
the bathroom's closed.
The
What do you mean
bathroom's, and the
closed?
reason it's closed is because there's homeless people outside,
Right.
right? So it's like,
Yeah, and I understand that, you know, it's like profiling or racism,
yeah,
you know.
it is racism. It's
They're putting us in a class with the ones that are doing bad things, or, you know.
yeah, it really is a no different than a racism. When I was growing up, I'm Spanish. They were used to profile blacks in Spanish. Now they profile homeless people.
Yeah.
It's no different.
Yeah,
The poor race.
we're the animals now.
Yeah, the poor race.
Mm-hmm.
And what people don't realize is they might be next. First it was blacks, then it was Hispanics.
Yeah.
Now it's the homeless, and who's next?
Yeah.
It could be you.
The blue collar.
We don't know who it's going to be.
That's right.
It could be tall people, short people, fat people.
Yeah.
It could
If
be
you're not
people.
good looking enough, you're gonna have
It could
to-
be blonde people. We don't know what they're going to come after next.
Right.
It doesn't serve society good to marginalize a group, because that group becomes resentful. I mean, like growing up, I dealt with a lot of police profiling, but it's changed a lot. And the only reason it's changed is because cell phones, videos, cameras, so they can't really be as racist as they used to be, because now you can expose
Now it's
them.
exposed, yeah.
But the homeless, you guys are defenseless.
Yeah.
You guys are defenseless, and a lot of people take advantage of the fact that you guys don't have a phone or a lawyer or a phone number.
And everybody's got to look down on somebody, and we're the ones.
The bullies do, yeah.
Yeah.
The bullies always got to look down on somebody.
Yeah.
People with low self-esteem are always going to find somebody lower than them. But people who have good self-worth don't do that.
That's true.
Yeah, you don't look on somebody else as less desirable than you unless
Right.
you have a personal insecurity.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the homeless are the new target of hate.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I know you're the one talking, but I'm talking too.
No, it's all right.
A lot of people get mad at me when I do. They're like, "Oh, let the person you're interviewing talk." I'm like, dude, I'm here with them, and I like talking to people as
Yeah.
well. But I remember, if you look in the Bible, and the Bible's like thousands of years ago, Isaiah 10 mentions that the Assyrians were pressing laws that were against the poor. And we're talking, and that's a historical count. Whether you believe it or not, it's a historical count.
Right.
That, thousands of years ago, the judges were making laws to oppress the poor.
Right.
And so this isn't entrenched in humans. This isn't a new thing. It isn't this government or this
Right.
administration. This is something,
It's learned
yeah.
generation to generation.
It's a human behavior, basically. It's a bad human behavior. But oppression of the poor has existed for thousands of years.
Right.
Like it said, that records in Isaiah 10, it says that the judges and magistrates were making laws that were oppressive against the poor, taking away from the widows, and making spoil out of the fatherless,
Right.
which is practically the same thing we have today. A lot of the laws today incriminate poverty.
Right.
Take the new law we have in Florida now that makes it illegal to be homeless practically.
Yeah, you can't get caught sleeping outside. What happened to the days you could go to the park, play with your kid, and then take a nap? You do that now, you go to jail.
Yeah. And it's a law that if I were to go and, I don't know, sleep in the park in Lakewood Ranch or something,
Oh yeah, you're going to jail.
not in that setting, they know who that law's for.
Well, yeah,
The intended purpose of the law.
is for homeless people.
Yeah. The state of Florida doesn't hate camping, they hate homeless people.
Right.
I mean, they're not outlawing camping in the Ocala National Forest, they're outlawing camping in a sidewalk in Ocala.
Right.
So there are laws that are targeting poor people and making it impossible for somebody to get out. Like, for example, let's say you got a job right now. Obviously, your girlfriend's completely disabled. But if you got a job right now here in Bradenton doing electrical work, what would they pay you, like $22 an hour?
20 to 30, yeah.
Okay, you can get more than that? Let's say 20, it's an easy number.
Okay.
20 times 40 is 800. No child support, no back child support?
Nope.
Because that'll kill you. that one will kill you. You wouldn't believe how much they get people on child support.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's a thing out there. A lot of people are like, how do you not afford housing? I'm like, have a kid and find out. Get put on child support.
Yeah.
So no child support. So that's $800 a week, $1,600, so $3,200 a month.
Take out taxes.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But let's pretend you're getting paid more than 20 and your leftovers 20. That's $3,200 a month.
Okay.
Your apartment's gonna be $2,000. Utilities $25. I'll tell you, my bills are $4,000 a month. So $36 wouldn't be enough for my bills.
Right.
My car, my apartment, my water, my light, my phones are almost $4,000 a month. So
So how do
30.
you do it?
How do I do it?
Yeah.
What time is it right now?
2 a.m. I think.
2 in the morning,
Something like that.
and I'm interviewing homeless people outside a building in
Hey,
Bradenton.
you're not making any money on this.
I could.
Good.
I showed you what I made on her interview.
Yeah. $42.
Yeah, and I paid her more than that.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people say that I'm exploiting the poor, but I feel like I'm working for this.
Oh, you're definitely working for it.
I mean, I didn't know you were here and you knew where I was, but like, some car pulls up in a spot where there's homeless people late at night. That's not exactly safe.
No. Well, it's not unsafe.
Yeah, I mean, for me it's not, but most people would never think to do that.
We're more afraid of them than they are of us.
Yeah, Could be a cop trying to evict
Could
you.
be a cop. Could be somebody that works here that doesn't want us here.
People rob you guys as
Oh,
well.
we're just trying to, crash out for the night and get some sleep.
Right. So it
And,
puts you guys on edge.
The basic necessities of being alive are challenged when you're homeless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I Uber drive, and tonight I had a passenger right in here in this little area that scared me more than, like, I've done interviews out here all night, and that one passenger I had on Uber scared me more than anything I've done out here all night.
How do they do that?
It was supposed to be a girl, but when I show up, it was a guy, and he tried to open the door before I even stopped. You know, when you put the
Right.
car in park,
Yeah. And then the door's unlocked.
then he was already yanking on the door before I even stopped it.
Right.
So the girl walked up acting like she was gonna get in the car, but then he got in the ride. So what happens with Uber is, like, well, you've been an Uber driver, so you know.
Yeah.
Like, usually the guy's using the girlfriend's account if he's doing something he's not supposed to, because they've
Right.
already closed his account.
Right.
So it was one of those deals where, like, the girl was sending him on a ride, and then so it's a really short ride. So you think about it, why would you pay for a really short Uber drive around here? It's questionable.
Just to jack them.
So he gets in the car, and I'm supposed to turn. I'm heading down Cortez. I'm supposed to turn to the left.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm dropping him off at a gas station. So it didn't make sense that why were you going on a 1 mile
Right.
Uber ride late at night? Could he be scared of this area? I don't think so, because he was about this big.
Right.
So he's not scared to
He's
be out
not
here.
scared to walk.
Yeah, he was hanging out in a sketchy spot to begin with.
Right.
But then he didn't. Oh, it's actually not there. It's actually a block down the road. So he's telling me to turn away from where I was supposed to go. So I got a GoPro in the truck.
Right.
I turn the GoPro on. I got a piece of metal underneath my seat. I bang it. And I have no, hey, bro, I don't know what you're doing.
Right.
But anyways, Uber driving to make $3.
Yeah.
Because from there to there, it's a $3 ride.
Right. And he got out no problem.
I think he understood. Like, I think with Uber, you're Uber driver. I think with Uber driving, like, if the person thinks you're a square, they're gonna push you.
Yeah.
But once you let them know that you're not a square,
Right.
once you know that, like, you already sized them up,
Prepared. Yeah.
they don't want it, because they know you're already 2 steps ahead of them.
Right.
I guess surprise is a huge element. What were they really trying to do? Maybe they're just doing something sketchy and they don't want the right address to be revealed on the app. Who knows?
Right.
Could have just been a small little deal.
Yeah.
But
No
I don't
telling
want
what it could have been.
I don't want to be part of that.
Right.
How do I know they're not going to rob him when he gets there?
Exactly.
How long were you Uber driver for?
A year.
Wow. What were you driving with? What car do you have?
It's a Chrysler Sebring.
Nice.
It's all right.
It was all right. You have any scary experiences Uber driving?
One drunk girl was coming on to me while I was driving.
Nice. Just playing.
No, it
I'm
wasn't.
just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
No.
I'm messing with you. I'm putting you in hot water. I'm testing you.
Yeah, yeah.
Michelle's gonna come over here and beat you for that story.
Probably.
I get that all the time. That's common.
She was over the edge. She was wasted.
Yeah, that's very common.
So that's about the scariest.
Okay. What's the best tip you ever got Uber driving?
I think I got a $20 tip one time for. It was an airport run, so it was like a $50 run, but $20 tip. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. My best tip ever was a 50.
Nice.
It was not Cambodia, Vietnamese guy, right here in West Barrington.
Yeah.
He lives north of here, down that side over there. And but the passenger before him was terrifying, and I was like shaking.
Yeah.
So I guess he like saw that he's like, what happened? And, like, I told him the story of a passenger I had before him, so he gave me a $50 tip.
That's
But
good.
you seeing the Uber driving is scary. I mean, you're getting a stranger in the car. You
Yeah.
don't know what.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like a lot of people tell me like, oh, you go out there and interview people at night in homeless camps and stuff and all that. I'm like, it's not a scare. To me, Uber driving is more scary because they're behind me in the car at night.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of people don't even Uber drive at night. They do it in the daytime only. They won't do it at night.
Homeless camps are. You may think they're scary. I did too before I was homeless.
Yeah.
But now that I'm homeless, I know. We're just trying to survive.
Yeah. Well, I think like it's not so much that I'm going into there. It's like I'm going in there with a camera
Yeah.
to record what's going on, and
Right.
you don't know who's on the other end. Guy with a warrant.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like let's say if you're homeless and you're setting up a camp or you're visiting somebody, it's different than like I got people that are my friends and I go hang out with them at their camp. You know,
Right.
just like normal, like we're hanging out right now.
Yeah.
But the thing about going to a camp that in a city you don't live in,
Yeah, in a different city, that'd be
yeah, because I
I don't
mean,
know how they are in other cities.
yeah, they got different protocol. Like in Tampa, they have this thing where they call it G code, where if you're not from Tampa, you can't be in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they call it G code. It's like if you're not from here, you can't be here. So it's very hostile.
Yeah.
I ran into one camp and I think there was a laboratory of some sort. I don't know what they were concussioning back there, but they had some type of little laboratory going on.
Really?
And I went into the front and they were like freaked out. They were very threatening. Can't be here. There's like 4 or 5 of them, you know, we're gonna poke you, whatever. But then I got on the interstate, went like a mile away, came in through the back, and because I find them on Google Maps, you can see the garbage fields in the woods. I'm like, oh, somebody's living back there.
Right, right.
So I went into the back, and there's like a straight up laboratory of some sort. So they were protecting something.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're gonna run into out there.
You never know.
When I first moved to Branson like 2 years ago, there was camps everywhere. Remember that? Like they're in the woods.
Yeah, and they were all over the sidewalks, and I mean, people just passed out, and drunk, fucked up. Yeah.
But I only started doing my videos in Branson like on a bigger scale, like maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't think when I first moved to Branson, I did that many homeless camp videos. But back then, they had just started closing down the camps. Like, so I moved in when they started like diminishing it.
Yeah.
Like there was one spot by Gap Creek. I don't know if you heard about that one. On south of 70 by 301.
Okay.
These were like cities in the woods
Oh yeah.
here in Branson. No, I think none of them are left at this point.
I've never seen one like that because I've only been homeless a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've heard.
There were some big camps here. I'm talking like you could walk for 2 miles in the woods.
Wow.
And there was just camp. So when I moved down here and I started discovering this, I was like, what the crap? But now none of it's left. I think
Yeah.
there's a little bit less.
Sheriff's office has done a good job.
Yeah, I mean, they leave a lot of garbage, but that's not even the real problem.
Right.
I don't think that's really the real problem. I think the real problem is that they're trying to build a lot of these new apartments and they're trying to build all these,
It's property value.
yeah.
I understand that.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was a lot of people that, like, once they got pushed out into the sidewalks, like the ones that were disabled,
Right.
and it was like, dude, what are they doing to these people?
Yeah.
Because not everybody that's out here is...
Yeah. There are the assholes, the drug addicts, the freaks that are, the psychotics and all that. Yeah, just like in houses. Ted Bundy was a college student.
Yeah.
But he
And,
bashed your head in.
Yeah. And people say, what do they say? Everybody out here is a user, but there's plenty of users in brand new houses.
Oh, yeah.
There's
There's plenty of non-users that are homeless.
Right.
There are some that don't drink, don't smoke, don't do anything.
Yeah. But those people, I feel like, are very vulnerable when they hit the streets because...
Yeah, because you're in a bad situation. You're surrounded by people that may tend to urge you towards that way, but it's just like being in school, peer pressure and all that. So what are you going to do? You're either going to use or you're not. You're either going to be an asshole or you're not. You're either going to be one of those homeless people that make the majority of society categorize us as animals, or you're not. So I just tried to stay on the not side.
Thank you so much for meeting you. It's been a pleasure to meet you. Is there anything else you'd like to say to people about homelessness or whatever you got on your mind before I let you go?
Just the basic. Don't judge. If you're not a judge, don't judge.
Yeah.
Because it could be you.
Yeah.
And then you'll find out.
You'll find out for real.
Yeah. Come spend the night with us and you'll see.
Yeah. I mean, fights. Fights, people robbing. It's just difficult. Tonight's cold.
Yeah.
Sometimes it rains.
Yeah.
You're out here, it starts raining.
Yep.
A lot of
Cover
people.
up with plastic.
Yeah. A lot of people will never understand the feeling of being out here and it starts to rain on you.
That's true.
Yeah,
Especially in the middle of the night, waking up by it.
by rain.
You know, and then have the police come and say, you got to get out of this spot, and have nowhere to go.
Yeah. Get arrested.
Yeah.
Have they ever arrested you for just like trespassing or anything like that?
I got arrested for trespassing because I was sitting on this much grass from the sidewalk. Just because I was leaning over just too far, and I didn't even think about it.
Wow.
But yeah, they arrested me.
And what's crazy, like we're both out here right now, right?
Right.
If a cop pulled up, they would arrest you for they could arrest you for being trespassing, but they wouldn't do it to me because then I have money for a lawyer.
Right.
Perception, right?
And
Perception.
you have the camera.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have a YouTube channel where everybody in town's gonna see what happened.
Exactly.
And then I'm gonna request the body cam footage and put it on my YouTube channel,
Right.
and everybody's gonna critique the situation.
And if they arrest me tonight, then I'm going to do the same thing
Yeah.
and say that you were here, and look at this, everyone.
Right. But in general, I mean,
In general, the cops in Bradenton, the sheriff's department, they're pretty cool, actually.
every cop is a person just like me or you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the majority of them are pretty cool, actually.
I've seen cops give people money that are panhandling.
They've given me money before.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
they've helped us out. Me and Michelle, they've helped us out a lot, actually. More than giving us a hard time.
Yeah.
They've helped us out.
Yeah.
Where they could have given us a hard time and probably should have given us a hard time. They said, look, stop, go,
Yeah.
just do what I say.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you were arrested for trespassing, you thought it wasn't really warranted, you think?
It wasn't, I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, they could have said, you're 6 inches over the line, man. You need to get over.
Mhm.
And yeah, I could have said, okay.
So that's what you call in legal terms something negligible. It wasn't really it wasn't like, let's say you were, I don't know, inside a building or like way within a property.
Right.
That's what you call negligible. It isn't
Right, I was by the road.
right. Did they press charges or did they just hold you for 30 days?
No, they wanted to press charges, and of course I entered a no contest plea
Okay.
and got slap on the wrist.
Okay. So my question was kind of like, okay, so they can hold you for 33 days, right?
I believe they can hold you longer than that.
Right. But in general, if they're not going to press charges,
Right.
they can hold you for 33 days.
Yeah.
Right. Did they just hold you for 33 days and let you go, or did you actually go in front of a judge and get sentenced?
I went in front of the judge and, they let me out on a ROR.
Reconnaissance, they call it.
Right before the
30 some days.
Yeah.
So in theory, they never actually pressed charges on you for trespassing. They held you for trespassing.
Correct.
So that is a interesting. That's actually, and I'm asking you because this is happening to a lot of people here in Bradenton, and
Right.
actually the state of Florida. That's how the whole state works.
They can
In
hold you.
theory,
They can arrest you and hold you, and pretty much for doing nothing.
but the problem with arrest and hold is that they never actually charged you for trespassing.
Right.
They held you for trespassing.
Correct.
And this is a practice.
Yeah.
The problem with that, I'm sure you were indigent and couldn't get out.
Correct.
Right.
That's why I got the ROR.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is a practice of the state of Florida that it may be legal. That's the way the state, they say, this is our procedure. This is how we do it. Right. But yeah, it might be the way the state does it.
Right.
But it's actually unconstitutional to hold somebody without the intention of pressing charges. So the problem with we're having here is that, believe it or not, that's actually not illegal. It's legal for the state of Florida, but
they made it legal.
that's the way the state puts it.
Right.
But in reality, they arrested you, they detained you, they held you, but they never actually charged you.
Right.
They never pressed charges, and that is a very questionable practice because they're doing this simultaneously to all the homeless people.
Right.
And it's not due process, because due process is if I'm going to arrest you, there has to be a reason for me to arrest you. And now, like, let's say right now a cop comes up to you, right, and they want to do it to you again. You, in theory, should be able to get served time for those 30 days
Right.
if you were sentenced to trespassing, because they held you and didn't charge you. So like,
Correct.
if you've been in there for 90 days in total, right,
Mm-hmm.
or 180 days in total,
Right. That should be credit.
that should be credit time served, because they didn't press charges on you.
Right.
The intention of arresting somebody is to charge them.
Right.
You can't just go around detaining people, putting them in prison indigently, with the intention of not charging them.
With the intention of finding out what that person is going to do, if they're going to plead guilty and be afraid of what might happen if they don't plead guilty, because the public defender might say, you know, if you don't go ahead and plead guilty and you say not guilty and then you go to trial, you're going to get the book thrown at you, because that's what they do with every charge.
Yeah.
And that's not right.
Yeah,
'cause
and they
it's
do
fear.
that. They do that with traffic tickets.
It's fear, yeah.
Yeah, they do it with like, I've gotten tickets where like, I got tired of being harassed by cops, because I grew up in Naples. I don't know if you've been down there. Or St. Petersburg Beach is just like Naples.
Yeah, I've been to Naples. I lived in Naples.
Really?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about. They're rich, and if you don't,
Oh yeah.
I drive a new truck now. I used to pick up scrap metal when I lived in Naples. So
Yeah.
I was on the poor. You know how Naples is. St. Petersburg Beach ain't
I
no
was
different.
19 and had hair down past my shoulders.
Wow.
And wore Iron Maiden t-shirts. So
So you know what I'm talking about. You know how
I got
Naples is
harassed, and I also got a battery on a corrections officer charge there.
in Naples.
Yep.
Wow. What year was that roughly?
92.
Oh, way back.
Way back.
That
yeah.
that Naples doesn't even exist anymore.
I had a bottle of wine that I was with a girl, and we were on the pier.
You know the pier's gone now.
And I didn't open the bottle of wine.
Yeah.
But just because I had it, when I came back and started to get in my car, cop stopped me and said, "Well, you had that on the pier." "Yeah, but it's unopened." "Well, I'm going to arrest you anyway."
Naples 101.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was in the 90s. Imagine now.
Yeah,
I don't want to live down there. That's why I'm up
Go
here.
down there. Stuck up people.
It's worse now.
Yeah, I bet.
It wasn't even bad back then. It's bad now. Well, even I went to Naples like in 99, 2000, and it was always like a very prejudiced town to begin with,
Oh yeah.
even back then. But now you got all these ultra wealthy wannabes down there. It's actually worse. So what's interesting about that is, I don't even know how I got to this. I lost my train of thought. We kind of like jumped around.
Yeah.
I don't know what the crap we were talking about. We got on the Naples and I forgot what I
Why
was saying.
cops mess with homeless people.
Oh yeah, like all that stuff, right? I think the point that I was trying to make might have been something along the lines of,
Money.
I was always being harassed by cops in Naples. I remembered. Okay. They're always bothering me. 1 year I got pulled over 52 times.
Ooh.
So every 2 week, every 1 week, whatever,
Yeah.
week, two times a
Right.
week. When I started recording them, when I started, yeah, when I started recording them,
Yeah.
I got my YouTube. I just got mad and tired of it,
Yeah.
and I started recording them because they have this thing called an intelligence bulletin. When you get pulled over or dealt with a cop, it's called intelligence bulletin. And in my intelligence bulletin, I'm pretty sure it says records police officers. When I started doing that, they'd pull me over and say, go. Never again. My last ticket was in Naples. I don't even live there, right?
Right.
I don't live there. I go there 3 times a year to visit my dad.
Okay.
Now, I've been to 37 states in the last 3 years. Where do you think my last ticket was?
In Florida.
In Naples. Yeah. My last ticket was in Naples. I got pulled over in Naples. I got profiled for being in my own neighborhood. They saw the new. I had a nice jacked up truck. They pulled me over, detained me, whatever.
New truck and.
So what I've been doing now is every time I get pulled over, I take it to court. I hire a lawyer. Now, every single time, you pay the lawyer $500 or $180, whatever he wants.
Right.
You pay the ticket. Every single time, what you said, they throw the book at you. $500 fines for for trying their authority, right?
Right.
Like they call it like not. It's almost like a. It's not quite a contempt of court, but it's like a. It's like a. It's similar to a contempt of court. It's like you're wasting our time.
Yeah.
The last 2 times I've got a ticket, I've done that. I've hired the lawyer and paid the lawyer, and both times they've given me a $500 fine on top of the lawyer. So you get the ticket, you pay it, it's $170. Now it's $170 plus the lawyer plus a $500 fine for imperjurance. I don't know what they call it. It's like the disrespecting their court by
Yeah.
challenging their claim.
That's unconstitutional itself.
But I do it every time now. I don't know why I'm doing it, but like when I get pulled over, and the cop sees, okay, the last 2 times he's gotten pulled over,
Right.
he has taken the cop to court. The cop had to show up 3 different times, and it never went to court. But he had to show up 3 times to court
Right.
because it doesn't really, it never gets there, right?
Right.
But like then the court's like, okay, the cop's been here 3 times, so they'll throw the book at you, like you said.
Yeah.
They make an
absolutely.
example out of you.
Yep.
But now the cops know, since I've done it 2 times in a row. When a cop pulls me over, I'm gonna tell him, hey, look at my record. I'm going to take you to court.
Right.
I know they're gonna charge me the fine. I'll pay it, but I'm gonna make you go to court because I think a lot of times it's very easy for cops to prey on a homeless person because
They know we're not gonna fight back.
you can't fight back,
Right.
right? But when you start to throw some imperjurance, I don't know what you call it, insubordination, you can call it. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
When you become insubordinate
Right.
to them, then they see that, okay, this guy, he knows he's gonna get the case thrown out,
Right.
but he's willing to pay the $500 just to make me go to court. It lets a cop know, hey, it's not worth it.
Right.
Unfortunately, with you guys out here, since you're indigent, they're always going to know that they can
We
put you
are.
through that process and you're
Exactly.
not going to do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. It would literally take somebody with a lot of money, like a very wealthy person, to say, okay, I'm going to bail out every single homeless person that gets arrested here, and I'm going to pull a lawyer for them. And eventually, you'll find lack of due process that could actually mean that they did wrongdoing and they have to compensate people.
It would take a lot.
Yeah. I don't have the resources to do it, but
Yeah. Neither do we.
sorry that this interview's been so long, but
No, it's all right.
I really enjoyed talking to you, and
Yeah. You too.
we'll catch up again in the future.
All right.
I'm glad to see you, and I'm glad you're still with Michelle, taking care of her. I know it's difficult with her health, but thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.